Hello, divine creators. Hello, divine beings. Welcome to Dumala Universe. We are Kemet. Thank you so much for joining us. Beautiful beings, let us see what is available at this time. What is coming through Source? What are we ready to receive? What energies are at play at this time? What would assist us at this time? Okay. All that glitters. And to the sea. All that glitters is number 16, so it reduces down to a 7. To the sea is 7, so double 7 on the floor. 7 is all about balancing to source. It's all about aligning to source. It's a spiritual number of balancing and harmony. The 6 is of balance and harmony, but that is the energy you give out to this universe, into whatever realm you create in, you receiving it. So equal energy, yin and yang, that infinity, what you put out, you receive. The 7 is everything you do is aligned to the source within you. It's that balancing. So your conscious presence is within source. You receive from source and you create as source, and you allow all things to manifest through source. And we feel that quite a strong energy, and that was the dominant energy last year, where everything was aligning to source, and it's being activated at this time for the energies within your frequencies to be cleared and aligned to source. Last year was a big spiritual year. Well, the previous years were. But last year, of that balancing to source, a lot of what you experienced, you saw with new eyes. You saw with source's eyes more than ever before, in order for you to release that which wasn't aligned to your inner being, to your truth, to your authentic self. And that was when you were still in the cocoon. So the spirit frequency was really assisting you to really shift out of the physical, right here, right there, present in every situation, and come into that higher space, that higher understanding, so that you could then balance your life to source. Now that we are in the physical, in the infinity year, as source, the same frequency comes again, but now you are doing the balancing on your own. It's not the spiritual realm guiding you. It's not you being or feeling that you have embodied the spiritual realm. So there isn't that buffer, there isn't that removal from the frequency. Instead, you are right in this physical frequency, right here in the dense energy. And in it, you are now asked, you are source, observe as source. What doesn't align with you anymore? What's no longer resonant with you? And with all that glitters, this really shows is a lot of what you had come to understand is success, is perhaps your dreams, what you want to accomplish, what is the worldly understanding of abundance, of success, of accomplishment. 1 and 6, 16. 1 is the magician. Here you are, the alchemist. 6, harmony and balancing to 7. So this is you saying, the manifestations I am looking for, the manifestations I'm wanting, the manifestations I'm working towards, what I'm building here. Is it really honoring the source within me, or is it still honoring an idea? Is it still pleasing what people expect? Is it, oh, I want to do this in order for, people to have a good image, of me? Is it for pleasing family, pleasing a loved one? Is it for societal recognition? Or are you doing what awakens your source? Are you doing what you're inspired to through source? Are you doing, I shouldn't hold it so close to the flame. Are you doing what is aligned for your highest frequency, for what you are calling into this realm? And so you are asked, or rather you are observing in your life, okay, so it's interesting. Sources even goes deeper to, if you are, for example, on the right manifesting path. So maybe the job you are working on is aligned for you, or the energies where you're spending your time, that is where you are meant to spend your time. Source is asking, what's the intention? Are you signing up for that course, and then are you planning on getting top grades? Is that your outcome? I want to be the best student in the class? Or is it, I want to discover why this class was called to me? And both have a very subtle difference. The I want to get first grade top student, as much as it does have its benefits in the knowledge or the work or the investment you're going to put into it, it's born of the external evaluation of ego. It's not born of why are you there? And once you actually align yourself with why you are there, the truth of why you are called there, then that is when you actually align with the optimal outcome. So maybe you're not necessarily getting the top grades, but you are still doing well. But furthermore, you have found your purpose, the reason why you're doing that course. And that is what's going to allow you to excel. Source is giving us a visual. Say you are now, and this is just a random example, so do not take it as, oh, you have to do this. Say you are inspired all of a sudden to join rather a group of theater actors. Perhaps you've always wanted to do drama in schooling when you were younger, but you never had the opportunity, and all of a sudden you feel inspired to sign up for improv or an acting group. Are you now joining there and then thinking, oh, I need to be the best, I need to know all my scripts and I need to now be the one that knows what's going on, I need to show my thing? Is it from that space? Or are you being there, oh goodness, I wonder why now, Source? Why now? Why here? And then are you just allowing yourself to surrender to the other beings who have perhaps been there before, sharing their stories, learning new techniques, being vulnerable, realizing, okay, I am not as good as these others. They have done drama since they were kids. I'm just starting now, but I'm willing to be open. I'm willing to see where I hold myself back. And in so doing, you're now understanding, ooh, this is really, really good, but I really actually enjoy more the, oh, that sci-fi fantasy world. That's really where I want to. And all of a sudden you shift doing more of that work, and then that's where you excel. Or maybe you are there doing the drama and you realize actually the costume making is actually, those costumes are amazing, and you realize it's the costume and the arts department that's actually calling you. So Source is saying, when you release having these set outcomes and set goals in terms of why you do things, and you simply just trust the process and ask yourself, why is this a place I am to be? Why am I inspired? It will allow you to finally receive the truth, the true gold of why you are in that situation, the true gold of why you are in the relationship, the true gold, the true worth of that experience, because you're allowing the source within you to be the reason you are there, not the external approval and the accolades. There's a richer worth there, and Source is saying when you actually tap into that frequency, then the accolades and the awards that you might also want, they actually come with ease, because now they're no longer a goal. They're simply the side effect, the product, the outcome of you doing what you enjoy and doing it well. And then the other 7 here goes to the sea, which is of course the water energy, the divine feminine, the sacral chakra, the shadow, the unknown. And Source is saying this is a time when you are finding yourself more in your own frequencies, more in your own waters, because that's when you are receiving now. You see, within from Source and without from Source. And it's fascinating how the sea here within Source already has a 7. It's already balanced to Source. While here in the light and the physical, 1 and 6, you are literally balancing to the 7. So this is Source saying, so yes, at this time, you might find yourself almost detached from reality a little bit. Not that you are not present, not that you are not doing things. You're still busy, you're still continuing doing your things, you're still at work, you are still grinding, you're still doing your things however you feel or whatever you're inspired to. but you're just finding yourself a bit more detached from reality, as you are a lot more in your source space, because you are allowing yourself, it's almost as though you are going hands off the physical and you're diving deep into the shadow and allowing the shadow to now show you the physical. So it's that complete surrender and trust. And it requires a bit of a detachment from the physical. So you're finding yourself not really aligning with maybe what people are really going through, releasing yourself from experiences and situations, quite a hermit mode, not really engaging in a lot of activities or group energies. You're really particular about your energy and how you are feeling. You're only really wanting to spend time in energies which are likened or energies which resonate with you, because you no longer want to be influenced by the chaos of the world. You no longer want your everyday experiencings and your everyday presence and beings and doings to be influenced by the physical, by common opinion, by what's being done, because you understand how unique you are, how unique your frequency is, and that the only way you can truly understand your purpose in any situation you're in is to surrender to source and discover your purpose there, as you simply allow your authentic truth to shine and be present in all the experiences. So should you feel yourself detach a bit, go into your own space, not really get too social this week, don't fight it. You are just observing everything through Source's eyes, for you are now understanding deeply and in a rich, more crystallized way and manner, perception, perspective. Why am I doing this? Why do I want to accomplish that? Why do I want a relationship? Why do I want a family? Is it because it's expected of me, or is it actually something I'm inspired to? Is it to prove that my womb works, or that I have viable, reproductive um, components? Or is it to actually, is it that intuition to have a family? Is it peer pressure from family? Is it why that job? Why that position? Why this? Why that? And also, you're also observing how you feel about yourself. There's a big nurturing aspect coming through, that all you do is truly to nurture you, that King of Cups energy, that in the light, in the physical, should you be source, then every single thing and opportunity and experience, the way in which you then are inspired to do things, maybe to sign up for a course, or to ask for a promotion, or to release a relationship, or to start a relationship, however you're inspired to do things, you now get to trust, because it's born of source, because it's born of this divine intuition, this divine knowing. This path will honor, will nurture, will care. I no longer choose paths which are reckless with me, which are in suffering, which are in struggle, because I need to prove a point, because I need to show that I'm alive. There's no longer that hard edge in life. It's Source is saying there's no need for you humans to choose paths which are painful to prove a point, to prove that you're alive. There's no need for you to put yourself through anything that's unpleasant. Should it align to you, then it brings you joy, right? And it is this higher understanding of why, a higher understanding of what it is, and what it means to do these things. Another example Source is bringing forth is, we have plenty of tattoos, and beings might argue, well, that's putting yourself through suffering, right? However, when we experience the tattoos, we don't really feel the pain. Our personal, and this is how it should be done. There is no right or wrong way. However you feel inspired is your thing. We are literally sharing our own unique personal, has nothing to do with you experience as to why we're having tattoos. We enjoy the ceremony, and for us, they are light code activations. Many of the tattoos we receive are light codes, integrations, for we truly integrate every single day, every single moment. And it is almost like having a permanent anchoring point, and it's an automatic integrating while we're doing other things. It's like, okay, let's just lock and load that in. Now it's running in the background while everything else is working. It's just an interesting way in which we have found to integrate the energies we receive, the ones that are long term anyway. Some are transient, but the tattoos we receive are quite for long term. And so they're very also selective also on who the artist is. The artist energy has to be just right. So we never really have one standard artist. We get guided to the studio, we get guided to the artist. We literally just go into a new place. It's like, hi, we've been called here to work with an artist. And they're like, oh, okay. And then we just, oh, you. And we just see the person, we feel them, we are asked to work with you. And they're like, okay. And then it always works out beautifully. And they're always at a place to understand what we want to do, and it resonates with their life. It's a perfect co-creation. And then when we are actually having the tattoos, we just go into meditation and we feel more, I don't know, we don't really feel the pain. Yes, it is a painful experience, but it is not it is not not enjoyable, as opposed to, hey, let's get a tattoo to rebel against society or people who don't like tattoos, or my family, oh yeah, or because of peer pressure, oh yeah, or because it looks cool and da da da, and so I'm gonna put myself through this pain, and I don't want to do this, but I want to prove this person wrong. All of a sudden, is it the intention to prove people wrong that you're putting yourself through pain, or is it because you actually want this and so you are electing it for your own expression? Okay, so it's quite subtle there. Okay, and yes, sometimes you just want to get a butterfly tattoo because you just want to get a butterfly tattoo. Okay, it doesn't have to be a light coat, doesn't have to be anything big, it can just be, this is what I want to do. But again, it's the intention is not for you to prove yourself against anything, but it's simply for the expression and the desiring and the wanting, not the needing, the wanting. And there's a subtlety in the way in which you are now understanding this. It's very unique for each and every single one of you. For each of you, a very unique frequency of source, anchoring in very unique ways to accomplish success and abundance. It can get a little bit disheartening for you beautiful people on this spiritual journey, because then you'll see so many other people who are doing things very human ways and succeeding, and you're doing it in a very different way, and it's taking longer, or it's just sluggish, or it's not really taking the shape in which you expected it, or it's just, there are a bit more challenges, and sources saying, well, you are anchoring in a new way, you are trailblazing, right? If you do the same thing, if you're going into a new land, you're exploring a new island, and you go along the paths other people have gone. The paths are paved, they're cleared, right? They even put stops along the way. There's even ways in which how to walk across the paths. You don't really have to do much anything. You just sort of follow the trend, and you'll succeed, because there's already a path from A to B. So clearly you'll make it to B. Just go along the path, right? But now you're asked, oh, ignore the path and just go where you feel. And if it feels good, keep going. And where right now you're guided, there's no path. There are now reeds and trees and branches in your way, and you have to sort of weave, and nobody's gone there. Now all of a sudden, there's a river you have to cross, and nobody has crossed it before, and now you're finding a way how to cross the river, and then, oh no, okay, now there's a cliff. Now I need to somehow get to the bottom of this, and so now you're traversing a different path. And source is saying, yes, it does feel a little bit trickier and a little bit unknown, and it can be a bit overwhelming, but you are literally carving a new path, a new way of success, a new way of achievement, a new way. And the way that you are carving, the way that you're exploring is truly right for you. So be patient and just accept where you are. Have the beautiful energy of divine grace, which is acceptance of your environment, acceptance of you in each moment. Then you're able to navigate the space. But when you reject yourself or you reject the environment, it's resistant, because now you are fighting how you feel. But if you accept the environment and you accept where you are and how you be, then you can feel very much, no, I should leave, no, I should stay, no, I should go. You are able to actually accurately feel your way through situations when you come to an acceptance of what is, and that is grace. It's not that human, oh, holy person floating in the air. No, that's not grace. That's the egoic idea of grace. Grace is, this is the situation I'm in, and it might be a disaster. I'm not fighting the disaster that is. I'm simply surrendering, source, here I am. How do I navigate this disaster? And through it, you're not panicking like the other people. You're not overreacting. You're not being this person in the crisis, over emotional, getting your emotions, overwhelm you, and all of a sudden you're not doing anything. You are the cool, calm, and collected being, navigating and assisting everyone to also navigate through these challenges. That's grace. And we are now to embody grace as you now truly navigate the physical as source and no longer through the eyes of the known world. These are quite big light codes, okay? And the eclipse energies are really assisting to bring it through, because that eclipse energy is, here's the sun, here's the eclipse. What is eclipsing your light? What is hiding your truth? And so it's a shift, a veil opening, where now you're seeing even more of you, deeper into the truth of you. And these energies are assisting you to really have a higher sense of why you do things, of your motivation to do things. And it's important, before it allows you to finally release that conditioning and to finally come into your authentic power. And it's interesting, sources saying it's almost like you are almost just in the space, not knowing, not seeing, reaching out, almost blindfolded, and you're having your hands out, reaching out. And they're saying soon you're sort of going to slip into your rhythm, slip into your frequency, just slip into where you truly are, and things will just start manifesting and flowing and going, and this feeling of being stuck and restricted will no longer be. It is just that you have been operating. We, as the healers coming here to assist Earth, we have been operating outside of our frequency for so long. We don't really recognize it. And so everything else almost has to fall away in order for us to see it clearly. And that's the tricky part, releasing all the ways in which you had identified, all the ways in which you had defined yourself, all the ways, all the ideas of you, all the ways in which you had defined life, defined relationships, all these things just being released. And when you try to hold on to a comfort zone of the past, you can feel the energy just distort. You can feel how it splinters. You can feel how it doesn't align. It requires just presence and just trust and a huge bucket load of playfulness, okay? It sounds quite big and heavy, but sources saying actually, if you stopped taking life so seriously, the whole process would actually be quite fun, because finally you're no longer bound by the illusion. You're finally allowing yourself to be illuminated by source. And so the ways in which you discover yourself can actually be fun if you stop looking ahead to, oh, but I need to know I have to know about next week. I have to, sources saying, if you could just stop looking ahead and just be present in the now, go to the sea, be present in your now, you'll finally see the truth of the abundance you really are calling in, and you'll be able to enjoy the true riches of your source and finally release the superficial glimmers of illusion. As hard as those glimmers might be difficult to release. Let's pull some tarot and see if we can receive anything more from source. Oh, okay, there we are. Trust, how apt. Free fall into the abyss, you will land in delicious love and happiness. Trust, complete trust. If I'm not mistaken, this is the Knight of Cups energy, and it is just you following your intuition, following what you are being guided to without question. Without question, that is quite important. Source is saying, we know that you have been trained to question everything in order for you not to make mistakes, in order for you to make wise decisions. But the questioning of who you are, the questions you're asking are questions based on human existence. So it is like you going to another planet and asking them about rainforests and how the climate has changed on their surface when they do not have rainforests. So they have no idea what you're talking about. So Source is saying the questions that we are asking, as valuable as we might think they are quite irrelevant to the frequencies you're bringing in. They don't make sense because you are not of this world. So it is asking human questions to a superhuman being, and all of you are superhuman beings. Which is why you are just receiving your frequency from Source, and you're asked just to trust what you receive. Trust the guidance, trust the how, and not to fight against yourself, not to fight and to use excuses. Oh, but the last time I did this, it didn't work. And Source is saying, well, the last time you did this, you were not quite here, were you? You were still busily, hurriedly being distracted by the absence of you. Now you are at the complete presence of you. Try it again and see what happens now. And yes, we know it's been a long journey, but the point was for you to be Source, and then. Now you're finally Source. Don't give up on you. Don't give up on the discovery of what now happens when you have finally aligned to your Source frequency. Trust now. All that you do will bring you the love you are, for you are now anchored and creating from the divine love you are. Two of Swords with schizophrenia, and we see it there, again bringing that trust energy. There you are, holding on with foot, holding on with your hands, the past, what's known, what's comfortable. And Source is saying, let go the mind, let go the thinking. And when you let go, look at you, when you let go, you fall into all that is meant to be yours. Just let go and glide and trust you will be safe. Don't hold on to the known, hold on to the past, hold on to the future, hold on. Source can see everything that's happening, and Source is saying, let go. The bottom is not as bad as you think. It's actually everything you've ever wanted. You've just never allowed yourself to just fly this way. Release having to understand, having to know, questioning. But if I do this, Source, what happens? And why is this happening? Okay, I'll go to the water, but why? What does the water do? Stop asking. Many of the frequencies you are receiving, sometimes, how can we say this? You are accessing information from Source. This information is a vibrational frequency, a download. For it to integrate into the physical, it almost requires a way of transmutation, of transference. So sometimes Source says, ooh, there's a frequency coming to assist your abundance. For this frequency to come into the physical and not to be interfered with by your mind or logic and understanding, just go and swim in the ocean. So all of a sudden, you asked about money, you've been busy working the whole week, it's deadlines and busyness, and you're asking for assistance, and all of a sudden Source says go to the beach, and you're thinking, go to the beach? Do I have time to go to the beach? I'm busy. And Source is saying, well, you asked for assistance, and for the assistance to integrate, you need to be in the ocean. Because if we give you the assistance through your mind, oh goodness, you're going to question every single step and you're going to make a mess of it. But if you go into the ocean, the frequency, the energy will go through the water, the divine receptive energy within your body, within your frequency, within your source will anchor there. And then in the days and weeks to follow, you will discover what you received in the water. You will discover what you received during that candle meditation. You'll discover what you received in that forest walk. So when we guide you to these things, oh, but Source, how do I make more money? Oh, just spend more time with the family. Take the day off work, actually, and just spend your time with family. But how is that? The frequency of you being surrounded by loved ones is what will bring in the abundance energy you seek. It's release the questioning of how everything you want comes in. Just accept it, grace, and discover. Trust that whatever you're being guided to is the way, is the method, is the how. You are Source now. The information you're receiving is from Source, the fruit born of your Source frequency. Trust it and witness what now becomes of you, of the experience, of your reality. Going with the flow. You see, complete surrender. This is the Ace of Cups. Energy. Your cup is to be filled. You are to be blessed. Also saying, oh, you've been asking. We've been sending. But you've been questioning the sending. It's like, imagine you've asked for everything you want. And now Source has sent your package to you. It was first difficult for you to receive the package because when you were unawakened, you were not home. You were in everybody else's home, checking what everybody else is doing, letting other people influence you. So you were not home to receive you. So the first step was to release you from the influence of the external so that you are home to receive you. Finally, that step worked out and you finally went back home and you decluttered, you released everything, and you finally opened up your space to receive you. Now finally the mailman has come your way and is knocking on your door and is saying, we have a delivery from Source. And you're saying, why now? Because it's time. Okay, but then when I open it, what will happen? Well, you will then see, but then, okay, but if I do that, will it... So there now, you are literally interrogating the delivery man at the door. Still asking Source for all those things, but when you receive it through all these different ways of communication, you're questioning it out of manifestation. Because now you need to understand it. And Source is saying you can't understand what is to be discovered. You can't understand what you are, for you have never really truly allowed yourself to receive who and what you are. So go with the flow. You are finally home to receive you. When you receive that instruction for Source, okay, go for it. Go for it. But Source, how am I going to afford it? When you sign up, the money will come. But how? Just sign up and you will discover it. Okay. And then you sign up. Oh, it worked. Of course it worked. It's meant to be fun. It's meant to be easy. So relax, trust, and go with the flow. It might seem a bit chaotic, but that's because it has not been done the way you are doing it. And that's because the way you are doing it for so many years has been suppressed, has been oppressed, has been ridiculed, has been judged. So yes, the path that you are taking has been a bit battered, but you are there, healing it, planting new seeds, allowing more life, new life to grow there. in those long forgotten roads and those long forgotten ways. Integration, temperance energy, Sagittarius energy, your alchemy, the divine feminine and masculine frequencies, yin and yang, that balance, what we have really been receiving here, receiving from the unknown source, because finally source has been freed. When you came into this earth, source was conditioned as a religion, as a belief, as a culture, as a tradition. Your spirit frequency was given to you in a specific form which you had to honor and believe in order for you to be a good person or a bad person, etc., etc., etc. Finally, you released all of that, realizing source is love, and this way people have decided source is actually not healthy, and it's causing a lot more destruction in the world than people are willing to admit. So we are releasing this idea of what source is, and we're allowing source to show us. So you freed source to freedom. And now you're asked to free the physical, the masculine, the physical source. You free the divine feminine to freedom. Now you're being asked to free the divine masculine to freedom by allowing the physical to show you who and what you are. So the unknown shadow and the unknown light are finally awakened. The infinite potential of you awakened for discovery. You are co-creating, and look at how it mirrors the Two of Swords. It's saying, release the mind trying to figure out how and when and why and what if I do this, but then how, and release. Look at you, swan energy, receiving that which you are to be, your full manifestation, eagle energy. The landscape of source is free and abundant before you. This is you creating with the wealth of all that you are. Release the mind and unlock your infinite potential. Morality with the Queen of Swords. Lighten up. Can you see how tight this energy looks? And this is what happens, right and wrong. This is the right way to do it. This is not the right way. Morality, right? The human morals, the human right ways and wrong ways, and it has to be done this way and that way. Look at just how strict, and can't even breathe. Feel like you've been sent to the principal's office with this card. It's also saying, no, release, release, release. Your truth is not restrictive and rigid. Your truth frees you. Your truth is light. Your truth is surrender. It's liberation. It's freedom. Trust your intuition, not the worldly intuition. Trust your truth, not the world's truth. Trust your manifestation, the discovery of you, not what the world expects you to be. You are going through a beautiful, powerful transformation at this time, releasing old ways, old ideals, and old systems which keep you imprisoned in illusion, literally in make-believe rules and regulations that literally don't exist. Rather, you are now tapping into Source and allowing the truth of Source to manifest finally existence, that which you were born to be being, the seed becoming the flower it never knew it would become, but now becoming it and discovering it, discovering the color of the petals, discovering the kind of flower, discovering the scent, discovering. Be easy with yourself as you release even more the physical to freedom, to new energies yet to be discovered. You are so powerful and you are so beautiful. You are finding yourself going within, and we love how these two cards are so similar. Going within, going with the flow, letting Source carry you wherever Source is, gently nudging you, saying, go this way rather. We know that this way you have never been, and this way no one can really assist you because they don't know how to assist you, but just go this way rather. And you'll see what happens. You'll see why. We see what's happening there, but we see it as energy. We don't see it as fixed form. So asking us what's there won't help because we have no idea. You are the one in the physical, my dear. You are the one to first experience it, to discover it, and then everything else knows. So you are that beautiful black panther, black jaguar in the jungle, in the forest of the night, the unknown. Trust now, that forest is your forest. It's a forest of the divine feminine, of Source. So no matter how dark the air, no matter how deep the waters, whatever you discover is you, is love, is you. There's no need for you to fear you. Discover what it is you are being inspired to do by trusting what you receive, trusting Source. Accept all that is, where you are, what's happening. Then it allows you to navigate to the spaces where you will receive the more you want, to the experiences of your Source, to the manifestation of you. Blessed be.